February 2015. It's an International Farmall TD6, 1950 something. It's got a dozer blade. We had a left steering clutch freeze up. And as you can see, it's the bearing part right there. They really don't show you this part in the book very well, how to take it apart or how to take this out. The axis is underneath the tractor to take that out, and there's a bolt with a clasp that holds a nut in, and then you undo it, and it pulls down just enough. It won't come all the way out because of the cross support for the track. And that's how you pull the bottom of the pin out for this clutch lever. Gears in there. This is what it looks like with the brake pads off, of course. Brake pads are pretty simple to take off. There's a spring down in there that goes to here. The lever for that's down there that connects to the brake. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause this real quick and throw these parts in here. That's actually what you really need to know how to take apart. Okay, what the book ain't going to show you is this piece here and here is with this part here taken off. That's this here. You have the top bolts down here, and then down on the bottom is nuts. So up on top you have 4 bolts, and on the bottom you have studs, which are nuts, as you can see down here. So what you do is you unbolt first thing before you take any of this off. Unbolt this plate. It'll recess back a little bit, and you'll see down in here, which is only literally an inch. Well, inside here you'll see wired nuts, and you'll undo the wire and the nuts, and then you'll undo the corresponding nuts on this side, which are these right here. And then you'll rotate the tractor with the bar. And then once you finally get all those all done, there's 6 in here. This plate will actually pull back just enough where this spline will pop loose. And then you'll be able to pry it loose and jack the whole clutch system out. So our book really didn't show how to do this. One book we had didn't even tell you how to do this, to take this part out. It just said take these bolts off here. So, and this clutch came out. These we made. They're really simple. And so just spring apart and smash stuff as you pull the clutch out. Ours is completely rusted in here and seized. The spring lever and the pressure plate moves, but the rest of the clutch is so frozen it stays engaged, it won't disengage. So this is what it'll look like as it comes out. See if I can tilt this up. It's quite heavy. See, that's what it looks like. So this top plate here, you unbolt it, it slides down an inch. You expose this, which is wired nutted in. You undo it, and it pops out just enough to clear the casing on both sides. You undo, of course, all these bolts, and the whole unit jacks out. Make sure, just before you jack all this out, mark wherever you can a line. The most important part, see if I can find it. You see this grease tube? It goes down to the bottom. This grease tube, when you put back, you gotta make sure it's right, otherwise it will not grease the bearing. And I'll show you where it's gotta line up. So you gotta make sure this grease bearing is to the notch in the shaft on the tractor. I'll show you that now. See it? Right there's a little notch. You gotta make sure that lines up when you bolt these bolts in. At that notch, when that grease tube goes down and lines up at that, otherwise it'll hit on the wall here, and your grease won't go into here and be forced into your bearing. So that's how you get the outer bearing. Now the inner bearing, which is right here, is done by the grease tubes that you unbolt from the top plate. You take this off, And I'll let you know, you do not have to take all these side tracks off. Just take the seat, the tank, and all the cross members out. All you have to do is pry them over and pop them up. There was 2 tall studs, and these are just alignment studs. They're just pins. You just take a pair of vice grips, spin them, and shake them out, and they'll pop right out, and you don't have to worry about lifting that plate up a whole inch. So basically, you'll just have to worry about lifting up just enough. So that's the output shaft back there for your power takeoff. So 1950 something International Farmall TD6. You just do a little walk around right here. It's my International Dresser 165 track loader. This probably needs a torque converter, but there's not a lot of information. That they were imported. Not a lot of them here. There's only 2 videos on YouTube about it. But starter, fuel filters, part of your compression gauge lever, and throttle lever, injection pump. This is your gas tank for gas. Of course, the diesel tank's off, it's in the back of the seat. This is how we held the blade up, just put a chain around it, clipped it. Starter generator, we're going to replace with just a generator, we're going to replace it with an alternator. Ours had, someone didn't tighten the coil down right in the inside, so it wasn't arcing, so it wasn't starting on gas. Got that problem fixed. You get your distributor in your coil, carburetor, your choke, oil filter, intake manifold. We just bought this tractor, so we're going to have to fix all this ghetto piping that they did. I did double hydraulics, one for the blade, one for the back, so you can hook it, quick disconnect entanglements. So, alright. Well, I hope this video helped you out.